Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to be talking about how Naughty Dog has offered hope for a new Uncharted game. If that sounds interesting, leave a like on the video and consider subscribing if you're new. It really does help the channel grow. Reading from Game Rant, Uncharted's creative director at Naughty Dog expresses interest in the studio returning to the world and adventures of Nathan Drake and pals. Sony is known for its high-quality exclusives, and despite getting what looks to be incredible new entries in both the God of War and Horizon series this year, fans are still clamoring for one series to make a comeback. Despite wrapping up the Uncharted saga back in 2016 with Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, Naughty Dog seems intent on making a comeback to Nathan Drake's world. Even if the world of Uncharted doesn't include Nathan Drake himself anymore, there are plenty of adventures still to be had with his friends or even new characters. Uncharted creative director Sean Eskay hinted in a recent interview with Games Radar that it's a world we want to see more of. Elaborating on that, Eskay says that he thinks Naughty Dog should never write off returning to the world of Uncharted, as it is a franchise that the studio absolutely adores, and that the recent director of Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Kurt Marganow, loves as well. While Eskay's words are far from any confirmation of an upcoming Uncharted title, they do appear to offer fans a glimpse of hope that the series will indeed continue in some form. What form that may take is anyone's guess, as around the release of Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, Naughty Dog did say it would want to continue making adventures in the Uncharted universe at some point, but that they most likely would not include Nathan Drake in any form. Of course, Naughty Dog then released Uncharted: The Lost Legacy a year later, starring Chloe and Nadine, but that game served as more of an epilogue to Uncharted 4 and was a shorter adventure. Since then, rumors of a new Uncharted game have been circulating for what seems like years, as recent reports indicate that Sony Bend, the creators of Days Gone, had been working on some new Uncharted project at one point. Considering Bend Studio developed the woefully underappreciated Uncharted Golden Abyss for the PlayStation Vita, it would make sense that the studio would be tapped for further adventures in the Uncharted universe. Currently, it is unclear if this Uncharted title is still in development or has been scrapped. With the upcoming release of the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection that combines both remastered versions of Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, and the upcoming Uncharted film, there is no better time to announce a brand new title in the universe. Gamers seem to be primed and ready for a new story. Perhaps fans get an old, grizzled Nathan Drake similar to God of War's Kratos. Only time will tell. So, my thoughts on that? Absolutely not. I do not ever want to see Nathan Drake in an Uncharted game ever again. Now, before you go down in the comment section and be like, what, are you insane? Just let me explain, okay? Obviously, my favorite game developers of all time is Naughty Dog, and one of my favorite franchises, favorite IPs is Uncharted. Developers and just, whether it's games, movies, whatever, people need to realize whenever something has ran its course, and in my opinion, Uncharted has definitely ran its course. I absolutely love Uncharted 4. I think it's the best Uncharted. A lot of people say Uncharted 2, but for me it's Uncharted 4. And I think the way they ended Nathan Drake's story was flawless. So in that sense, I would hate to see him come back as like an old man, because it'd be like, that would like take away from like the impact of Uncharted 4's ending. And of course people will be like, okay, what if they do like Nathan Drake's daughter, and like Nathan Drake is like in the game, but he's like a mentor, kind of like Sully was for Nathan, and honestly, I don't want that. If they ever did make another Uncharted, I wouldn't want Nathan Drake in it at all. Maybe jump like 5, 10, 15 years in the future and just do like new characters. I mean, it would still be a really fun game, because the gameplay and just like the setting of like Uncharted games is absolutely amazing. So I'm not saying it would be a bad game, and it would probably have a fantastic story, but like, I just really appreciate the way Uncharted 4 ended. So I would just be worried about them bringing Nathan Drake back, and that could potentially like hurt like, like the reputation of the first 4 games, But obviously, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what anyone thinks. If Naughty Dog or Sony decides to do this, then it's going to happen. If I had to predict, probably at some point, Naughty Dog might make another Uncharted game. But honestly, if I really had to bet my money, I would say that it would be like all new characters set like way in the future. And obviously, I know in the article it says like, oh well, they said they were done after Uncharted 4, and then they made Lost Legacy, but at the beginning, Lost Legacy was supposed to just be DLC for Uncharted 4, and then the game just grew bigger, and then it ended up being like its own standalone game, you know, even though it is smaller in size, which is like what they're doing with The Last of Us Factions 2, because that was like just going to be like tacked on like DLC or whatever, like the first game, but then it just kept growing more and it got bigger and bigger and more ambitious, so it, you know, it's going to have its own standalone release. You know, so those are just my thoughts on, you know, like apparently a new Uncharted, you know, whether it's like a reboot or like a continuation of Nathan Drake's story. What do you guys think? Down below, let me know how you would feel if Naughty Dog made a new Uncharted game. Would you be okay with that? Or would you be like, you know what? I'm not interested. And if they did make a new Uncharted, would you want them to continue Nathan Drake's story? Like I said earlier, maybe make it to where like you play as his daughter and he's like the mentor, you know, or would you want it to be all new characters? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new by turning on the post notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. Until next time, guys, take care.